So I'd like to offer you the vision that kind of motivates me. The vision is accessible legal access to a wide variety of psychedelics for healing, spirituality, connecting to nature, and bonding to loved ones. Yeah. So everybody has heard set and setting. You know, the set and setting are the most important determinants, but I'd like to, it still goes wrong. So I'd like to talk about it and add a little bit to that understanding. So I see it as set and setting, dosage, and matrix. I see them as being 4 issues. So set is the expectation that somebody brings when they walk in the door. It's who you are, your background, your cultural history, what you bring to this thing as you walk in the door. Are you anxious? Are you distressed? What are you expecting? What are your intentions? All of that stuff has to be worked with really closely. The setting is the environment that you work in. Now, I am really fortunate. I get to work in this absolutely gorgeous setting. But it's really cool. The inventor, the owner of Chi Integrated Health is beautiful at creating spaces. That's what he does brilliantly. You walk in and you go, oh my God. It's absolutely fantastic place to offer a psychedelic experience. Dosage is also crucial. And everybody has opinions about dosage. So I'm just going to offer you my opinion. And my opinion is there's a kind of a small window of what I think is ideal. And it's inconsistent with psychedelics. I could elaborate and challenge my own self. But I think the ideal dosage is where you walk up to the edge of not knowing that you're human, but you don't go over that cliff. And if you go over the cliff, it gets kind of scary. But if you don't walk up to that edge, you're not really there. So there's a relatively small window that I recommend. And matrix was a concept offered by Betty Eisner, I think was her name. And she wrote a paper called Set, Setting, and Matrix. And what she said, I think, was brilliant, is that the setting that people go to, or the environment people go to when they're finished the session, who they go home to is absolutely crucial. If you go home to an abusive situation or somebody who mocks you for your new heartfelt openness to them, you have a problem on your hands. So really be thoughtful about what that's like when the person goes home. Here is an image of how I think it should be handled. Now, this is a setup shot. It's myself and my fabulous wife that I would introduce you if she was in the room, but unfortunately she's not here. But so the guy lying down was a guy I met at the gym. He's huge. He has muscles and tattoos. And he always wanted to be an actor. This is his first acting gig. So the guy lying down has eye shades on and headphones. He's internal. He is comfortable. He has a warm blanket on. He's touching, in this case, my hand, so there's a sense of connection that he's having to keep him safe. My wife, the woman in the room, is intently focusing. She's not distracted. She's really there for him. If he takes his eye shades off, she's right there. And the environment is beautiful. There's some Buddhas around and some beautiful art. And the red roses are classic. That's from the 50s and 60s. So this is kind of what we're talking about. A core concept in the world of MAPS that I think should apply to all psychedelic healing that is really easy to say, and people often talk about it quite casually, but it isn't easy to do. In fact, it's quite difficult to do. And the concept is we are there to work with people's inner healing intelligence. We are not the healer. The client lying down is the healer, and we are there to witness their healing and to support their healing. Now, that sounds really simple, but it often isn't. And in fact, people rarely do that. And so really working with staff to do that is actually really important. It's similar to a parent with a child who's approached them who has a cut or a bruise. Now, we as parents can put the Band-Aid on, but we don't heal the cut. The body heals the cut. So we're there for the child, and we say warm and supportive things, and we put the Band-Aid on, but we don't do the healing. And that belief kind of balances out the power imbalance a little bit, because the power imbalance can go wrong. It's very different from many other therapies. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, is a lot of back and forth, and this is a very different model. When I was doing the MAPS training, Michael and Annie Mithofer would talk about to become a skilled psychedelic guide, you need to do two things. One is you need to learn, and the other is you need to unlearn. And so the learning is what I'm supposed to do, and the unlearning is what I'm not supposed to do. And the people that have the most credentials usually have the most unlearning to do. And it's quite difficult. If you're used to a certain back and forth that you've done for decades, not doing that is quite challenging for people. Another thought is do not have an agenda other than healing. I've had lots of people approach me and saying, how about this? Can you do this when your person is vulnerable? No, don't have an agenda. Don't have an agenda. Just have the agenda of healing and working with the person's internal healer. Here's a really nice sentence that kind of summarizes the role of the guide. The role of the guide is to attend to the needs, physical, personal, and interpersonal, of the participants while creating an atmosphere of stability, compassion, safety, while avoiding caretaking, fixing, labeling, psychoanalysis, diagnosing, or being distracted.